Spartans! What is your profession?
We did how many rounds? We probably did at least 8 straight.
Yeah, but you in the bag for about 8 too.
Are you ready to witness a new chapter in boxing history? Can Gervonta tank Davis, silence every doubter with a single training session?
Yeah. You're not in bad shape.
The gym lights blaze bright as Gervonta Davis steps onto the canvas for his first training session since that controversial clash with Lamont Roach. Every bead of sweat glistens under the harsh glare of the lamps. The echoes of heavy gloves slapping pads bounce off the walls like drums announcing a coming storm. A symphony of determination fills the room, and Tank's eyes flash with focus. No small talk, no distractions, only business. Muscles coil and stretch as Davis begins his warm-up routine with ironclad discipline. He moves through dynamic stretches, each twist and kick unlocking power trapped in sinew and bone. A trainer hurls medicine balls at his core, and he catches them, slam after slam, sculpting the midsection that pulverizes opponents. This is no casual jog. Every step, every twist is calculated. His breathing remains steady, a metronome of deliberate intensity. With gloves snapping shut, Davis glides around the ring, shadowboxing against specters of doubt. Each jab slices through the air with surgical precision. His footwork dances between speed and balance, anticipating Roach's counters. Invisible ropes couldn't hold him back. Every feint and pivot tells a story. Tank sees every possible scenario, and he's ready for all of them. The gym's mirrors reflect not a fighter, but a predator locked on its prey. The heavy bag hangs like a challenge from the ceiling. Tank chases it, unleashing blistering combinations. Jab, cross, hook, uppercut, each strike echoing like thunder. Leather meets leather with a crack that rattles bones and nerves alike. He tests angles, searching for the one perfect shot that will end the rematch as quickly as it begins. No flurry is wasted. No movement is frivolous. Each punch carries purpose, a promise of destruction.
How you put your balance up right?
Next comes the speed bag, bouncing like a heartbeat against the rhythm of his gloves. Davis leans in, palms fluttering, unlocking a cascade of rapid-fire taps. His arms become pistons, launching shots that blur before they land. Sweat flies, turning into a mist of ambition. His eyes never leave the target. His mind never leaves the mission. Speed isn't just a tool. It's the edge that will carve victory from doubt. Cones scatter the floor, demanding precise foot placement. Davis sprints, pivots, and shuffles with uncanny agility. His feet whisper secrets of balance and power. Each step builds momentum for the next tremendous strike. Even in exhaustion, he glides, a testament to the countless hours spent crafting a foundation of movement. Every drill is a brush stroke painting a masterpiece of controlled aggression. Coach Kenny Ellis stands inside the ring, mitts at the ready. Davis storms in, throwing one punishing combination after another. Ellis nods, shifts, and offers fresh targets, forcing Tank to adapt. These pads are Rosetta Stones of opposition. Decode them too slowly, and pain follows. With every exchange, Davis refines timing and polish. A perfect point of contact gleams in his mind, waiting to be unleashed on Roach. Timekeeper shouts, and Davis explodes into another 3-minute round of unrelenting pace. Punch after punch lands with machine-like consistency. His lungs burn, yet his arms keep firing. He slams through fatigue barriers, mentally dismantling exhaustion itself. When the bell finally sounds, he stays on his feet, defying biology's pleas for rest. This is the forging of iron will, one brutal round at a time. Tank drops to the mats for sit-ups and Russian twists, each rep linking power from his gut to his fists. Medicine balls are slammed overhead and behind his head, launching him into explosive jumps. He chains push-ups with tuck jumps, every muscle recruited for dominance. There's no room for weakness in this temple of ambition. Sweat pools around him, testament to the relentless pursuit of peak performance. Light sparring partners step into the ring, but Tank treats them like title challengers. He feints, snaps counters, and pivots around their attacks. Though protective gear muffles the worst damage, the intent is clear. He's testing timing and distance. Every opponent yields insights, tiny openings that can turn into knockout opportunities. This is rehearsal for war. Training doesn't end when gloves drop. Ice baths beckon with numbing embrace, flushing out lactic acid and soreness. Davis eases into the chill, mind focused on tomorrow's session. Massage guns hammer tight muscles back to pliancy. Hydration and nutrient-dense shakes refuel his temple. This is not rest. It's preparation for the next onslaught. Back in the locker room, Davis dons headphones and closes his eyes, replaying every punch, every dodge. He sees Roach's guard drop, imagines the jolt of a perfect cross. This mental sparring sharpens instincts beyond physical drills. Doubt has no place here, only conviction and clarity. Coach Ellis unfolds a whiteboard, mapping angles and percentages. They dissect old footage, pausing on mistakes and successes. Each observation transforms into a drill, each insight into a weapon. This cerebral work ensures that skill meets strategy under arena lights. As days roll forward, intensity ratchets up. Rounds grow longer, weights climb heavier. Sparring partners switch to fresh legs. Every session demands more because rematch week brooks no mercy. Davis feels the burn, but he thrives on it. Pain is proof of progress. Timekeeper calls for extended rounds, 6 minutes, 8, even 10 minutes of continuous work. Fatigue claws at limbs, but Tank strides forward. Each round is a trial by fire, forging toughness that will scorch any challenger. Making lightning strike medicine balls strike weighted sleds. Pleo push-ups meet resistance bands. Davis trains muscles to strike at full force at lightning speed. The fusion of speed and power will be his ultimate trademark when he enters the ring again. Minute adjustments to guard height, elbow position, hip rotation, these subtleties transform a good fighter into a great one. Coaches shout pointers, Davis nods, tweaks, and drills. Precision becomes religion. Camp brings special challenges, limited oxygen masks, variable lighting, even auditory distractors. Each drill simulates chaos, teaching Tank to stay calm amid the storm of the crowd, the referee's whistle, and the bell's ring. Every meal is pre-planned. Lean proteins, complex carbohydrates, essential fats. Snacks of Greek yogurt and berries maintain energy. Hydration protocols include electrolytes and timing to peak on fight night. Discipline in the kitchen matches discipline in the ring. Between drills, Davis faces mock interviews. He practices concise, confident responses. Though the camp demands silence on strategy, his public persona remains unshakable. He crafts messages that exude focus and deflect distractions.
What do you think about the rumors of Tank and Jake fighting?
The Tank, disrespectful to the sport if he chooses that over fighting with me. I'm the best fighter.
A tight circle of trainers, nutritionists, and sparring partners moves like a single organism. Each member celebrates small victories and confronts setbacks. This unity steels Davis's resolve. He knows he's not alone in this war. Late nights end early with strict sleep windows. The body heals the damage of the day's grind. Deep sleep cycles build fresh muscle and sharpen reflexes. Conscious or not, Tank trains even in dreams. Weekly test sparring sessions gauge growth, punch output, accuracy, footwork fluidity. Every metric is recorded. When figures climb, confidence surges. When they dip, red flags appear. This data-driven approach ensures no plateau goes unnoticed.
So I've been telling him that, and he called cap on him. So if you gonna call cap and say I'm not who I say I am.
Sports psychologists guide Tank through visualization, goal setting, and stress management. Every doubt faces scrutiny. Every fear meets resolution. This mental armor keeps Tank sharp when the lights go down. Short clips of Davis's drills surface online. Fans roar. Analysts dissect every jab. The buzz grows. Yet inside camp, only work matters. Hype is noise. They're building something unstoppable. Weeks later, Davis dons full trunks and gloves for a mock fight. Everything mirrors fight night. Ring gear, walkout song, corner routines. This simulation is fight night's twin, leaving no surprises.
We got the rematch announced today with him and Lamont Roach.
Oh, they announced it today?
What do you think, considering you would?
One day remains. The gym dims, replaced by quiet focus. Davis laces his gloves slowly, as if each loop seals his destiny. He breathes deeply, savoring the looming challenge. This calm is a battlefield in itself, where nerves transform into razor-sharp concentration. The air feels thicker on day 2 of training, as if every molecule knows what's at stake. Tanks of water line the ropes, each droplet reflecting the intensity brewing in the room. A slow-motion montage of jump ropes flickers in the brain, reminding that even the simplest drills forge champions. There's a whispered debate among trainers about adding extra rounds of skipping to sharpen footwork, but Tank shrugs it off. Strength isn't built overnight, and he's here to prove it. Doubt lingers in the corners, but with every skip, he shrinks the gap between question and answer. Old-school mitt drills take center stage next, echoing traditions passed down from fighters long gone. The rhythm of leather on leather sounds like a ticking clock, time slipping away toward fight night. Trainer Ellis grips the pads like a rock, demanding precision and punishing any hesitation. Tank's gloves swipe at targets with measured force, each shot carrying lessons learned in past camps. The dynamic feels more like a conversation than punishment, a dialogue of violence where every answer must land sharp. A sudden shift to breathing exercises snaps the body into focus. Controlled inhales fill swollen lungs, and steely exhales push tension out in gusts. The method feels almost ritualistic, borrowing pages from ancient disciplines. Is breath merely oxygen, or is it the very force that fuels the storm inside? As sweat drips from foreheads, the camp pauses, united in silence, a rare moment where nothing but the rhythm of breath exists. A shared understanding forms. True strength begins between the ears. Attention turns to traditional medicine, herbal wraps soaked in liniment, massaged into sore muscles before they stiffen. Some scoff at old wives' tales, but Tank welcomes every advantage. Skeptics glance sideways, questioning if these time-worn practices hold any real value. Yet when healing rubs vanish aches overnight, believers multiply fast. In boxing as in life, sometimes the tried and true path outperforms any flashy shortcut. Late afternoon brings an unannounced church visit where faith mingles with fear. A small congregation prays for victory, lifting voices to the heavens. Tank remains quietly at the back, absorbing the gravity of hoping something greater guides his fists. Questioning faith feels disrespectful, but doubt haunts every warrior's mind. This ritual doesn't erase that doubt. It teaches how to carry it and turn it into fuel. Back at camp, a vintage uppercut machine sits in the corner, wires and pistons humming softly. Few know its history, but those who do treat it like sacred ground. Tank steps up, throwing uppercuts that trip sensors and light up panels. The machine beeps approval with each perfect strike, a synthetic coach celebrating form and force. He grins at the score tally, momentarily forgetting the weight of expectations. Then he remembers. The rematch looms, and the margin for error remains razor thin. Night falls, but the work continues under floodlights in the open-air ring. Shadows dance on the canvas as Tank spars with a fresh partner flown in for this camp. Every feint and counter tempts him to drop his guard, but he stands steadfast. Each exchange writes a new chapter in the story, one where hesitation means disaster. When the bell rings, neither man steps back. Only when the ref gently separates them does the hush return, broken by ragged breaths and mutual respect. A dietitian pops in unannounced, clipboard in hand, to inspect snacks laid out in the lounge. Protein bars, fruit, nuts, each item measured to the gram. Tank eyes the spread but picks a simple apple. Some insist he needs more calories, but he trusts his body's signals. The debates heat up among staff. How much is enough, and when does discipline become folly? In a sport obsessed with weight, these choices feel like chess moves in a match against biology. The following morning greets Tank with a cold, pre-dawn run through empty streets. Headlamps reveal blinking traffic lights, and distant horns remind him the world keeps spinning while he chases greatness. His breath puffs like smoke, footprints echoing on asphalt. Each step forces questions. Are the sacrifices worth the glory? Does every bruise etched on skin bring him closer to redemption? Doubt claws at every stride, but he pushes on until the sun bleeds gold across the horizon. Back at the gym, video analysis dissects each run and drill from the past days. Slow-motion playback highlights minor stumbles, tiny cracks in an otherwise unbreakable facade. Trainers point them out without mercy. Tank watches with a critical eye, nudging shoulders, adjusting hips. This relentless scrutiny feels like underhanded mercy. Only by exposing weakness can he transform it into power. Evenings are reserved for mental conditioning sessions, where a sports psychologist challenges every belief. What if Roach surprises you with something new, she asks. The question hangs in the air like a wire. Tank considers it, imagining uncharted tactics, and feels the familiar tingle of unease. Then he scribbles notes on handling the unexpected, turning fear into preparedness. When the questions come, he'll already know the answers. 1 week before the fight, camp shifts into overdrive. Sparring sessions become full-throttle wars, each partner rotating to keep Tank guessing. The smell of sweat and leather grows overpowering, and every bell feels like an omen. Fatigue presses on limbs, but he grins through the pain. Exhaustion proves he's broken limits. Pain reminds him he's alive. On the final day, trainers code break his routine by mixing in unpredictable drills, blindfolded shadowboxing, sudden weight jumps, simulated crowd noise blasting through speakers. Tank stumbles at first, but then finds fluidity in chaos. This is the ultimate test. If he thrives in disorder, the ring will seem orderly by comparison. As camp closes, a hush replaces the usual clamor. Gloves dry on racks, waters cool in buckets, and silence thunders through the empty gym. Tank stands center ring, absorbing the echoes of every jab, every sprint, every whispered doubt. The path ahead shines with promise and peril alike. No script can predict what happens next, but one thing stands clear. Every question raised during camp now demands an answer under lights. Now, with the rematch looming just days away, anticipation crackles like electricity in every corner of the boxing world. Fans will fill arenas, cameras will roll, and one man will face the living embodiment of every doubt. Will Gervonta Davis's relentless grind translate to knockout power? Will the old-school rituals and modern science merge into unstoppable force? The blueprint is drawn, the training camp is over, and soon the bell will signal the moment of truth. If you felt the pulse of every punch in camp, don't miss a second of the action. Subscribe for exclusive behind the scenes, like if you believe in Tank's power, and drop a comment with what question you'd ask him as he steps into the ring.